I want to talk to you about teaching children to read, because what we're doing is not working. Globally, according to UNESCO, 56% of primary school-aged children are not reaching minimum proficiency levels in reading. Surprisingly, they add that most children who are not learning are in school. I'm a Montessori teacher. I have taught preschool children to read for almost 4 decades. When I hear a parent very proudly saying, "My child knows the ABCs," my heart sinks, because I know I must move all that information aside in order to teach that child to read. We do not read with the names of letters. We read with the sounds of letters. Reading is like music. Music comes from the sound of a note, not the name of a note. Reading comes from the sound of a letter, not the name of a letter. For the child who is taught ABCs first, such as A says A as in apple, it usually takes 6 months to a year longer to sort out the sounds and begin to read. Stop teaching the names of letters first. Instead, start early teaching the sounds of letters. Consider what must be sorted through. 26 letter names, 26 letter sounds, 26 uppercase letters, 26 lowercase letters, and 26 stories to go with the letters. Snake, octopus, monkey, apple. From baby books to toys to typical classrooms, we force preschool children to untangle 130 pieces of information, most of which are not needed to learn to read. Research confirms that young children, being read to and talked to, assimilate all the speech sounds in their environment during the first year of life. Through the following years, with the sounds of speech in place, learning to read begins by simply attaching symbols to those sounds. Stanislaus Dehaene, in the conclusion of his book, Reading in the Brain, states, "All children, regardless of their socioeconomic background, benefit from explicit and early teaching of the correspondence between letters and speech sounds. Connecting those letters to their sounds is just another example of object labeling for the child. One letter, one sound." This is Can we find on this page? Focus on lowercase symbols because that is what children see most often in books. Children are driven to learn. On one occasion, when I was working with children living in poverty, one little boy who had just turned 3 insisted on participating. His experience with letter sounds was purely through play with 6 letters. So I set those letters out. He looked at me with indignation and disbelief. He swept up all 6 letters, held them up one at a time, correctly stating the sound of each. Then he looked around and behind me to see if there were more. In essence, he was saying, "Enough already. I know these. I'm here for more." Keep in mind, he learned 6 letters informally through play when he was 2 years old, and he was there for more. Typically, the names of letters, the ABCs, are the primary focus until a child is 4 to 5 years of age. But we don't read with the names of letters. And unlearning is really hard. By shifting that early focus to the most common sounds of letters, children begin reading by 4 to 5. Clearly, little people are given years to learn to dress and eat independently. Likewise, they should have the same wide window of time to learn to read. Children are surrounded by print, but they don't know how it all fits together with speech sounds. Figuring that out is one of the most consequential tasks in a lifetime. To help them, start early. Engage with the environment. Choose 2 or 3 letter sounds to teach. Make sure the child is confident identifying those few sounds before adding another. Children are able to identify a letter of a sound when they hear that sound, before they sometimes can say that sound. A child who says, "I want to read," deserves to have the most common letter-sound associations already in place. The secondary sounds, such as the C in city or the E in ego, uppercase letters, letter names, or more complicated quirks of a language come later. If we continue to teach the names of letters first, the ABCs, the children who learn to read are doing so in spite of us. We are asking all children to struggle unnecessarily. We all can help children learn to read in a more logical, natural, and seamless way. Talk to children differently. Whether you are in the grocery store with your toddler or in a conversation with a friend's child. Look, this is eh. Do you see the on her shirt? Can you hear the t in Tuesday? Let's go look for down this aisle. Stop teaching the ABCs first. Trust our youngest children with the actual tools of print, the sounds of the letters. Those little analytical minds will do the work of reading, one sound at a time.